wow, if you think I could even hurt a fly, and he is, he's not a person. He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't Matt. This statement was reportedly said by Jennifer Gledhill on a recorded call where her lover expressed fear of her. Her lover was afraid of her because he says she had confessed to murdering her husband because her husband found out she was having an affair. She shot him in the head while he slept. Some more backstory before we look into the case document. In July of the same year, Gledhill filed for divorce, and in August, she filed for a temporary protective order against her husband. The decision was that no abuse had occurred, and in fact, it mentions that she was in videos that she submitted herself, unafraid, equally confrontational towards him, and in text messages repeatedly berated, belittled, and demeaning, if not outright attempting to goad him into a violent response. And I gotta say, when you're saying he's not a person, makes me think of Lori when she's sending these messages trying to goad him into a response, recording videos that prove that she herself is the bad guy. Sarah Boone. Flavors of that throughout. Just days before allegedly murdering her husband, Jennifer Gledhill asked for $13,000 from her father. Her father gave her $1,000, and after the alleged murder, her parents are accused of assisting her in the cleanup and are facing their own charges. And the father really, really, really screwed up. You're going to see that. Now, Jennifer Gledhill, after the arrest, was placed under a protective order so that she could not contact her children. She wanted it removed, and the judge did remove the protective order, but just replaced it with a no contact order. So she still cannot contact her children. And I think after we get through this, you're going to agree that's probably a very, very good thing. Let's start from the top. Count 1, murder. First degree felony as follows: that or on about September 21st, 2024, in Cottonwoods Heights in Salt Lake County, the defendant did intentionally or knowingly cause the death of another, or intending to cause serious bodily injury to another, commit an act clearly dangerous to human life that caused the death of another, or acting under circumstances evidencing a depraved indifference to human life, knowingly engage in conduct which caused a grave risk of danger to another, and thereby caused the death of another. Furthermore, the defendant was a cohabitant of the victim. We also have a destruction of justice charge here. This is a second-degree felony as follows: that on or about September 21st, 2024, in Cottonwood Heights in Salt Lake County, the defendant did with intention to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes an offense that would be a capital felony or first-degree felony, alter, destroy, conceal, or remove any items or other thing, and is a second-degree felony if the conduct that constitutes an offense will be a capital offense of first-degree felony. And there we have it again: another obstruction of justice charge, another obstruction of justice, another obstruction of justice. And it says at the bottom what they're for. The top one is for deleting WhatsApp messages, disposing of a mattress, cleaning the house, disposing of gun, moving truck. And here we have possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. And we have the defendant did knowingly and intentionally possess with intent to distribute a controlled or counterfeit substance that was classified as Schedule 1 or 2, controlled substance analog, or however you pronounce that wording. Abuse or desecration of a human body is in there as well. Intentionally and unlawfully disturb, move, remove, conceal, or destroy a dead human body or part of it. Tampering with a witness is mixed in as well. The defendant did, believing that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, or with the intent to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, attempted to induce or otherwise cause another person to testify or inform falsely, withhold any testimony, information, document, or item, elude legal process summoning them to provide evidence, absent himself from the proceeding or investigation to which he has been summoned, or solicit, accept, or agree to accept any benefit in consideration of doing any of the acts specified under subsection 1. And this information is based on evidence obtained from the following: AC, Officer G, Commerge, an informant. The informant is going to be her lover. Identified neighbor's mother, Detective Alciar, Detective Winters, and Detective Phelps. And here we go. Let's go into the actual story, how this happened. The statement of AC with the Utah National Guard that on September 25th, 2024, he contacted Cottonwood Heights Police Department and requested assistance in locating a fellow National Guardsman, Matthew Johnson. AC stated that Matthew had not returned to work, which was very unusual, and he had tried to call Matthew several times, but his phone went straight to voicemail. AC stated that the National Guard was going to list Matthew as AWOL. The statement of Cottonwood Heights officer G. Commerge that he contacted Jennifer Gledhill by phone on September 28, 2024. Gledhill wanted to report her husband, Matthew Johnson, was missing. Gledhill stated that Matthew had not been seen or heard from since September 20th, 2024, when they had an argument at her home in Cottonwood Heights in Salt Lake County. Gledhill provided Matthew's telephone number and a vehicle description. Gledhill said that Matthew told her he was going to be gone for a week and not to call him. The officer noticed that during its initial call with Gledhill, she seemed distracted and at times nervous. The statement of an identified informant through interviews with detective that he was having an extramarital affair with Gledhill. Oh boy. Informant stated that on Saturday, September 22nd, 2024, Gledhill asked to come over to his house just before the midnight to give him some prints. Informant said that Gledhill arrived at his house and was visibly distraught. Gledhill then told Informant that she was likely going away for a long time and wanted to give the prints to someone who would enjoy them. Gledhill told Informant that Matthew had returned to the home on September 20th, 2024, and started yelling at her because he knew she had been sleeping with someone else. Gledhill told Informant that on the night of September 21st, 2024, she had shot Matthew in the head with Matthew's 99mm Glock as he slept in her shared bed. Gledhill stated that she smashed Matthew's cell phone and hid his vehicle in a neighborhood near their house. Gledhill told Informant that she loaded Matthew's body into a rooftop storage container, slid him down the stairs by herself, and loaded him into the back of her minivan. Like, people talk about how a lot of criminals get caught because they talk, because they slip little bits of the story. This is a little bit beyond that. I will say, I'm going to spoil it because I don't think it's mentioned in this. I don't believe the body has been found, and that's probably the only reason it's not just taking a plea. Gledhill stated that she had taken Matthew's body north, dug a hole, and buried him in a shallow grave. Gledhill stated that she cleaned everything up. Informant stated that he observed bruises on Gledhill's arms and legs, which she explained were from moving Matthew's body and cleaning the mess in the house. Informant stated that Gledhill told him she was very likely going to kill herself that very night, or eventually if the police figured out she killed Matthew, as she refused to spend her life in prison. Informant stated that Gledhill had shown him a tan Glock handgun on September 19, 2024, and she pulled the slide back, showing him it was loaded. Informant stated that she wanted to contact police with his information because he wasn't sure Gledhill was telling the truth. Okay, hold up. I'm confused here. So this woman admits to a murder, and he wanted to contact police because he wasn't sure she was telling the truth. So if she was telling the truth, I don't get that. Maybe that's something he said. I mean, probably fear for his own life, really. Let's be honest. Informant said that Gledhill told him not to say anything and that it was not a crime to not say anything. Informant further stated that he and Gledhill communicated via text message and WhatsApp, which he provided to police. That's damning. In these messages, Gledhill tells Informant that she assumed he would be like her, and if her friend told her a hypothetical story, she would say, let me get my shovel. Gledhill told Informant that if she was told the story she told him, she would take it to the grave. Gledhill told Informant that if she told the story she told him, that's dumb. Gledhill told Informant, I washed everything in vacuum and it's not an issue anymore. This is such a confession. This is in text. They have this part. Informant stated as he was taking the screenshots of these messages, Gledhill was actively deleting them. Informant turned over the screenshots to law enforcement as well as phone conversations he recorded with Gledhill. alluding to her actions. Wow. The statement of an identified neighbor that she lives within view of Gledhill's residence. Neighbors stated that on September 20th, 2024, she observed Matthew's truck backed into the garage. Neighbors stated the night after September 21st, 2024, and into the early morning of September 22nd, 2024, she could hear Gledhill and Matthew arguing. Neighbors stated that when she left the house the afternoon of September 22nd, 2024, Matthew's truck was not in the driveway. Neighbors stated that on September 24th, 2024, she observed Gledhill's mother and father at the home with Gledhill and the children. Neighbors stated Gledhill's mother and father left the residence at approximately 2300 hours. So, neighbor's story matches lover's story, and her parents are now in the mix. This is not good. Remember, she probably could have gotten, maybe not away with it, but definitely could have gotten a better chance at getting away with it if she hadn't told anyone. The statement of identified neighbor's mother that on September 24th, 2024, she observed Gledhill's parents in the home cleaning. So now it's days later and they're cleaning. The parents were observed cleaning in the garage and moving things around, and all the lights in the house were on. She could see the parents cleaning inside. On September 30th, 2024, detectives located Matthew's truck 0.3 miles away from his home. Detectives obtained doorbell cam footage that showed the truck was parked in this location on September 21st, 2024 at 6:15 hours. Detectives located Matthew's phone inside of his truck. Now, I do wonder, when it says it was parked there and they have a doorbell cam, they don't mention it yet, but did they catch who parked the truck? Again, that would be a massive tell if it matches the other story. Detectives obtained a search warrant for Gledhill's residence. Detectives noticed that the mattress in the master bedroom was on a heavy wooden frame with no box spring. The mattress appeared to be brand new. Additionally, the entire wall behind the master bed appeared to have fresh white marks from cleaning. Several reddish-brown spots were located on the walls, bed frames, and blinds of the master bedroom. Apparently, they didn't clean well. Detectives noted that the wall behind the master bed was covered in bleach. The master bed was pulled away from the wall, and the carpet below the bed was forensically tested and flashed positive for human blood in an area with a large circular pattern. This pattern was located on the right side of the bed, near the head of the bed. Detectives noted a strong smell of chlorine in the basement and observed the black carpet on the stairs appears to have bleached discoloration on several steps. During the search of the basement, a carpet cleaner was located and collected as evidence. It was noted that during the search of the home, no computers, laptops, or electronic storage devices were located, though an Xfinity high-speed internet box was located and found in the living room. During a search of Gledhill's Chrysler Pacifica, detectives located a black box containing 3 small cardboard cylinders that contained a powdered plant substance. Listen, commit one crime at a time. Look at how many charges she's facing. Inside a black fanny pack were 6 Ziploc bags containing what appear to be psilocybin mushrooms that appear to be packaged for individual sale. Inside a white purse was $206 in a pocket on the interior of the purse. Detectives also noted the back seats in the van were folded down, increasing cargo capacity for the van. She knows detectives are going to go into that vehicle, right? She knows it. She left it there. Detectives obtained a search warrant for Gledhill's cell phone. GPS mapping of the phone showed that on September 22nd, 2024, around 6 a.m., it traveled near the area where Matthew's truck was ultimately discovered. At 16:44, the phone begins moving northbound on that belt. At 13:46, a phone call is placed to Gledhill's father, which lasts for approximately 4 minutes. The phone then continues north towards Davis County via Legacy Parkway at 13:50 and continues northbound until it's powered off at approximately 14:37. So she's dumb enough to take the phone with her and then turn it off later. Gledhill's phone then appears powered back on at approximately 17:07 and calls again placed at her father at 17:08 as she travels eastbound on the West Davis corridor. Like, crime tip, right? Crime tip. Let's say she got to that point and she's like, oh no, they can track my phone. What you don't do is turn it off. Like, you've already made the trail. That's going to be evidence itself. So, what do? What is the solution? I think what you would do is hide the phone. You stash it. Go find a bush. Go find somewhere you can stash this phone. And then, after you've stashed the phone, you can come back later and get it, and you'll have that marker that you were at that location. Maybe find like a McDonald's or something, or a mall, somewhere you could spend a few hours and stash it in a bush. Right? Like, but she didn't do that. I mean, the cameras at the mall would prove you didn't go in anyway, but better than this. Detectives located video footage of a Maverick gas station located on Parrish Lane in Centersville, Utah. The footage covers September 22nd, 2024 from 1700 hours to 1730 hours and shows a Chrysler Pacifica that appears to match Gledhill's enter the Maverick property from 1250 west and turn onto 375 north into an apartment complex. The Chrysler Pacifica is seen leaving 1725 19 hours, is located and is corroborated by Gledhill's cell phone location data. Detective received a LPR hit on Gledhill's Chrysler Pacifica. The detectives located video footage from a Holiday Oil on Highway Drive. The footage shows Gledhill's Chrysler Pacifica at the car wash at 202237 on September 22nd, 2024. The Pacifica uses the car wash, then parks near and vacuums. Single occupant is seen thoroughly cleaning the Pacifica on all sides and opening all doors. This was also corroborated by cell phone data. The Pacifica then leaves at 2307. Shortly thereafter, Gledhill's phone shows present at informant's residence at 2347, consistent with his report. Everything's matching the informant, right? Further analysis of Gledhill's call records show that at no point after September 21st, 2024, did she ever attempt to contact Matthew. You at least fake the call after you're told he's going to be marked as AWOL or the police are contacting you or you think he's missing, right? You at least fake the call. Not bright. Not bright. Detectives served a search warrant on Gledhill's parents' house. Detectives located a plastic tote near the bedroom where Gledhill would sleep when she visited. Inside the tote, located a Glock 19X gun box, green tan in color with one of the handles broken. The gun box was wrapped in a child's onesie. The gun containers consistent with the gun and colors was shown to informant by Gledhill. She is just leaving, do we even call it breadcrumbs at this point? This is wild. Detectives later confronted Gledhill's parents concerning their presence at Gledhill's house on September 24, 2024. Gledhill's mother stated that she was only at the house for less than an hour. Gledhill's mother admitted to purchasing a mattress from Amazon at the request of Gledhill on September 24, 2024. Gledhill's father said he could not remember the details of that day, but was there for a short period of time. Detectives confronted him concerning other evidence suggesting otherwise, and he said he was helping with a leak in the garage. Gledhill's father was asked if he went to the master bedroom, to which he responded, I did not go in where the incident happened. Whole family. How do these... Sometimes you see like a true crime thing or just people you know, and you have to sit there and you just wonder, how did you get to that age? You're the type of person you're the type of person that's the reason there needs to be a warning on a chainsaw to not put your hands on the spiky end while it's running. How did you reach that age? I did not go in where the incident happened. What incident? No one brought that up but you. Gledhill's father admitted to sending a text to Gledhill on September 26, 2024 that the mattress had been delivered to their home. Detectives provided a section of carpet that appeared to have blood on it to the Utah State Crime Lab. Forensic scientists conducted serological testing, which confirmed the stain was human blood. DNA testing was initiated. A profile was developed using the blood to originate from a single sample that was male. At the time of this filing, further testing is ongoing to compare the single source to Matthew's DNA, and the results are pending. I have an assumption. At the time of this filing, detectives have been unable to locate Matthew's body. I still don't think they found it. Detectives note that nobody, including family, friends, coworkers, have heard from Matthew since September 21st, 2024, which is inconsistent from his normal pattern of life. And now we have the motion for no bail hold. The defendant is charged with multiple felonies, and based upon the probable cause statement, there is substantial evidence supporting the charges and clear and convincing evidence that the defendant would constitute a substantial danger to any other individual or to the community, or is likely to flee the jurisdiction of the court if released in bail. In this case, the defendant presented a substantial danger to the community and to the integrity of law enforcement's investigation if released on bail. Record searches reveal that the defendant had previously made unsuccessful attempts to secure a protective order against Matthew during the course of their marriage, and was found by the court to be an instigator and to goad Matthew into a response in order to get him in trouble. The state believes the defendant was very calculating in her crimes, and that she arranged for the children to stay with her parents during the evening Matthew was killed. Investigation further revealed that she asked her parents to keep the children for another day, presumably while she was cleaning up the crime scene and disposing of Matthew's body. The evidence is significant that the defendant obstructed the investigation by removing the mattress she admitted to the informant that she shot Matthew on while he was sleeping, and replaced days later with a new mattress. Detectives noted that through interviews that the cargo box was observed at the home on prior occasions and has since disappeared. Many of the informant statements have been corroborated by other evidence, including her admission to him to burying him up north in a shallow grave, consistent with her cell phone travel on September 22nd, 2024. The location of the bloodstain is also consistent where one would normally place their heads on a mattress while sleeping. The gun described by the informant was also consistent with the gun box defendant hid in a onesie at her parents' home. The informant reported that the defendant hid Matthew's truck in a nearby neighborhood, which was corroborated. Further, the bruising observed by informant on the defendant's arms and legs, where, as she stated to him, consisted with moving Matthew's body from the home into the cargo box and out of the home. The evidence is substantial, and if released, the state believes the defendant will continue her efforts to cover her crimes. Further, the defendant is a flight risk. The defendant told informant that she would kill herself before spending her life in prison, or that she would flee to Indiana with her children due to the serious nature of the allegations. The defendant should be held in jail without bail. And I think it is the correct move. I think she's a danger to herself and her kids. I don't know. I get it doesn't have the religious aspect, but it's so much a fusion to me of Lori and Sarah, and not caring about, I mean, she doesn't care about reality, right? Like, she confessed and then did a partial cover up, and her dad admits to the incident, knowing about the incident. Well, she's in custody. She can't talk to her kids, and I wanted to put that out there. I came across the case and found it interesting.